Can we talk? And I mean really talk for a minute. I come on this channel all the time talking about all of this amazing technology, all these online tools that help you run your small business more effectively so that you don't have to miss out on your life. And look, that's 100% true. This stuff is out there, it's available, and it's amazing. But there's something that I think a lot of us tech lovers and especially tech coaches and mentors like myself, we just kind of forget to talk about. Sometimes technology sucks. Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm a tech-savvy business mentor, and today that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those days when everything that could go wrong does. And what do you do about it? So stick around. Like I said, this week is going to be part confessional, part therapy session, I guess. So here's the reality, guys. I'm one of those people who would call myself tech savvy. I would say that I'm really good at figuring stuff out, troubleshooting, getting things to work. But I still have days where everything I try it just doesn't work. The reality is that the more and more that those things pile on top of each other, the less capable we are in that moment of fixing it. And the second that happens, it's kind of over, right? Like, this was me the other day. I was working on something at my corporate job, and it really, really didn't go as planned. And normally I would just brush it off, I'll fix it, don't worry about it. All of a sudden, like, a ton of my users were pinging me at the same time. I can't do this, I need this. And it just became too much that I couldn't even think clearly anymore. When you start feeling the emotions bubbling up to that point where you're hitting your breaking point, you are so frustrated. And if you're like me, it's like a breakdown in tears kind of moment, right? You are not going to get anything productive done when you feel like that. Okay, number one, get yourself a therapy dog. If you don't have one, get yourself a therapy dog because they are amazing. But seriously though, these are the times when you need to realize you need to step away. And maybe that means, petting your dog for a little while. Maybe it means going for a walk. A lot of the women in my Facebook community were telling me, because I put this out there like, hey, this is a real thing. I'm like really frustrated this week. What do you guys do when you feel that way? And, a lot of them said they crank up the music and they just dance it out. They just have a dance party just in their living room. Now, that's not my personality, but I'm a singer, right? And so a lot of times I will just crank up a really like sappy, heartfelt song or maybe like a worship song, and I'll just sing the crap out of it. And when I do that, there's this like cathartic release that happens so that I can begin to see the clouds part and I can start thinking clearly again, right? That's like the number one tip I think I could give to anyone when it comes to technology in your business. Knowing when it's time to step away for a minute, those moments of clarity when you realize that like this isn't going to happen right now, you need to listen to those. I need to listen to those. Even if something feels incredibly urgent, like for me the other day when people were just pinging me right and left, it's not helpful for them for me to be working through frustration. The same thing applies in your own business. In fact, it almost applies more in your own business. You feel this like intense internal pressure to, figure it out and get it done. And here's the thing, especially if you're watching this as someone who says, I'm not good at the tech stuff, you're going to come up on these situations, maybe even more frequent than someone like myself. These are the moments that make or break your success in your business. Give yourself that moment of self-care and self-awareness and just realize, hey, I need to step back and then come back to it with fresh eyes. And let me tell you, I will almost guarantee you that every time you do that, you'll come back to it and the answer will be just like right there in your face. Right? It'll be so obvious, but you could not see it when you were working through frustration. The other side of things is you don't have to do it alone, guys. And you should not do this alone. And should is not a word that I use very often in my business, but in this case, I'm going to use it because putting yourself in the situation where you are putting all of that pressure and all of that responsibility and all of that weight on your own shoulders is a recipe for disaster. And maybe that looks like having someone like me that you have access to with help for some of the tech stuff that you're trying to set up in your business. Or maybe it's just a community of other business owners just like yourself who maybe they've struggled with what you're dealing with right now before, and they figured it out, and they can enlighten you and they can show you like, hey, it's not as bad as you think. None of us can do it alone. Sometimes technology is just not going to work, right? And this is actually another key point. So we've talked on this channel before about how to evaluate different tools that you might be choosing to use in your business. And I'm all about keeping your overhead low, using the free options when possible, but there is a little bit of a caveat there. Sometimes when you're in these free or super affordable options, it means that the tech support from that company is just not available to you. And there are going to be times when you're not going to be able to figure it out. I might not even be able to help you figure it out because it's something that's actually broken or wrong in their system. And in that case, they're the only ones that can fix it. So when you're evaluating these tools, sometimes it's worth paying that little bit extra if it gets you the support aspect that you need. If there's no support listed on the free plan, then that's not a good plan for you because eventually you're going to need them. One of the tools that I use in my business that I haven't really talked about on this channel, it's what I use to protect certain content behind a paywall. It's what I use to create my courses. It's a tool called Wishlist Member. And then they also have an add-on I use called Course Cure. And these are tools that are plugins, premium plugins that I use on my WordPress site. Don't worry about all of that. The point of the matter is these tools are absolutely vital in my business, and they're customer facing. They're not just things that I'm using on the back end, and if things are a little bit funky, like I'm the only one who's affected by it. These are things that my customers are interacting with daily. And think about it as yourself, as a consumer. When you have to go to their website or you have to interact with something, fill out a form or, make a payment or whatever it might be, and it's not a smooth process, you're more likely to move on, right? So that is like the most important aspect of my business is that tool. And it's also probably the most expensive thing that I subscribe to, that I pay for in my business. And there's a few reasons for that, but the main reason for that is that when something is not working the way I want it to, not only do I have access to their chat support, I have access to put in a support ticket with them, I actually have the ability to give one of their expert tech support representatives temporary access into my website, into my business, so that they can actually go in and fix the problem for me. And then they come back and tell me how they fixed it so that in the future I can do it myself, right? I mean, how is that not worth the price? And it's not even that expensive, if I'm honest, but it's so worth it. So you're going to have to kind of pick your battles and things like that. There are some things you can really go for that free option and just struggle through it and just let some things not work sometimes. And then there are the things that it's just that important. It is vital. It cannot break. It cannot have problems. And if it does have problems, it just needs to get fixed immediately, right? Those are the ones that you want to pay a little bit extra for. Pay really close attention to reviews on their customer service because it's everything, guys. Technology breaks. I mean, all the technology that we interact with on a day-to-day basis, you already know this. So don't forget that it applies the same way to all of these online tools that you're using in your business. And, let's just kind of recap for a second. Number one, know when to step away, right? Know when you need to go to the therapy dog, take a walk, blare the music, whatever it might be. Know when you need to step away. Number two, know that you can get support from other people in your community, from someone like me who can come in and guide you if it's not actually that the tool is broken, but that it's just that, you're just not quite setting it up right or whatever that might be. And then three, tech support for your most vital tools from the company that's providing you that tool It cannot be beaten. It is always going to be your best option because they know the tool better than anyone else. So yeah, technology can suck. It really, really can. And it can really throw your entire day into a tailspin. But if you know how to handle it, if you know what steps to take when technology is sucking, then you can get through it. You can get past it. You can get that thing fixed. You can get it set up right, and everything's going to be fine. The online tools for your business do not need to be complicated or overwhelming. It's time to let it be easy. And if you're an online business owner, then I know you've had days like I had the other day. What is your go-to activity to get yourself out of that, to break away from that frustration and get past it so that you can see with clarity again? So let us know let me know in the comments, let everyone else know in the comments so that we all have an arsenal of options and things that we can try when we're just stuck in the weeds of the frustration of the tech in our business. If you liked this video, make sure you click that like button and subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so that I make more videos like this.